Well, hello everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. For those of you on YouTube and Facebook, we're going live on LinkedIn right now. This is wonderful and terrific. Let's get that speaker, that microphone up where we can see it and hear it. This is great. Well, welcome everybody. This is the middle of the month. So if you haven't sold half the vehicles that you want to this month, if that was your goal to sell sell 10 if you're not at 5, if your goal is to sell 20 and you're not at 10 or 12 already, then you're really setting yourself up for disaster and making it super difficult. So what I wanted to talk about today was, this is a wonderful time of the year in order for us to be able to leverage apps and technology. And the only reason I paused and hesitated for a second there was that we don't think in the capacity of when the right time to leverage the apps and technologies, such as advertising organically, which is free on Facebook, or for that matter on YouTube. And those are the social media platforms that I am most familiar with. Those are the biggest ones. Those are the giants. This is how I attracted so many of you in order to join the private members group, either on LinkedIn or on Facebook, or follow me as a subscriber on YouTube. But that may not be your goal. Maybe you're more familiar with Snapchat. Maybe you're more familiar with PhotoCell. Maybe you want to leverage the technology of PhotoMine and a teleprompter to be able to speak eloquently into the camera lens of another proprietary software program that leverages video in order for you to convey a message. That's really what we're doing at the end of the day. We're just trying to convey a message to shoppers that have entered the stage process, the taking those steps of thinking, talking, research, then going to see the vehicle in a non-confrontational setting where they can be rest assured that they cannot purchase the automobile. And that is this time of the year where the auto shows start ramping up once again. And the auto show that I like going to is the Toronto International Auto Show, one of the biggest in North America. And it's close driving distance for me, where I can shoot a lot of B-roll with customers walking in the background, even passing right in front of, between me and the camera person. The camera person for me are my children. They're they're automobile aficionados as well. They love cars as much as I do. And the point is, you can make a lot of B-roll. You can make a lot of random photography that you can leverage later on right now in this social media endeavor. But I'm not so much going to teach you how to do that sort of thing. I think you can figure that out. If you can't, I'll put a link in the comments below to book a call with me, and I'll give you the tactics and strategy, exactly how to do it. But more importantly, I'll give you what you really want to know. As opposed to me just delivering and puking this information, why don't you give me a ring and ask me, like, how would I do it this way, Bill? And so I want to come back around to Facebook these few precious moments that we have together. I want to make sure you get the most value out of this. And so when we look at Facebook as our organic strategy, I know a lot of you are really quite interested in it. How can I get Facebook to be more advantageous to me? I hear a lot of you, especially through Q3 and Q4 of 2024, those last 2 quarters of the year, we're talking about from July right through the end of the year, that Facebook and Marketplace is bad. Facebook and Marketplace is down. I'm not getting the traffic that I used to. I'm not getting the volume of telephone calls or email inquiries or personal visits. And that's to be expected. Once the general population, being all of you automobile salespeople, found out how advantageous that Facebook Marketplace can be for us, well, then so many others jumped on board and into the fray, and did so without any kind of a proven tactic to deliver the results that we want, other than the first initial tactics that everybody had that was so successful was throw a vehicle on Facebook, and as long as it's less than $5,000, it'll probably sell in the next few hours. And that's great for those $5,000 cars. But those $5,000 cars are few and far between now, aren't they? What we need to do is convince people. We need to find the buyers who would like to transact with us in the 30, 40, 50, 80, 90,000. I have seen Cybertrucks, at least in my personal feed, and that's coming through my market of an individual that is tagged an automobile to a group of us, a number of us in Facebook, of a Cybertruck for $200,000. Like, wow. Lamborghinis for $400,000. And not so much that they are new, these are pre-owned, but that's not a marketplace. Boston Whaler, brand new Boston Whaler boat with a hardtop canopy and a heater and a cabin below and two 300 horsepower or 350 horsepower Yamaha engines on the back for $695,000. I have seen that in my feed. I wasn't the one advertising that. So this really does happen. There really is an advantage to it. But if you don't leverage the appropriate tactics in order to attract that client, then yeah, you're going to hear people that are frustrated that it is Facebook is just chock full of advertisements. Facebook is definitely inundated with a lot of automobile salespeople either congratulating their clients for purchasing an automobile, and I think that's what Facebook is dynamite for. It's not going to sell you automobiles, and it isn't necessarily social proof that someone should come along and do business with you, but it does definitely pat the individual on the back that made that second greatest financial decision of their life palatable with you, that they've committed to another 7 or 8 years of payments. And that's basically all that you're doing when you post congratulations to an individual. You should not be looking for that as your organic strategy and a tactic that will attract you business and people will want to rush in and buy that automobile. However, if you did want to leverage that as a tactic, then we need to leverage scarcity in order for you to create the urgency. So when you leverage scarcity by sharing with someone, congratulations on purchasing an automobile, we now had 4 vehicles left, and there are only 3 of those models left. 1 that is in this trim level, and 2 that are in trim level 2. That is the scarcity, which will create the urgency that one person may come in and want that, or 2 people may come in and want that very same deal. You can leverage that with a 30-day plan that the current offer will expire. If you tuck that into your post of your congratulations to the individual that has taken delivery of that automobile, keeping in mind the purpose and the tactic is to congratulate them and thank them for doing business with us. And then you can add to anyone else that would like to get the same great deal as this individual did. We had 4, or maybe we had 6. You may have sold 1, and we're now down to 3, of which we have these trim levels. That is how you can leverage a much more efficient strategy with any kind of organic advertising. And you can do this with word of mouth. You could create an email. You could do a telephone call. You could meet friends in the bar and somebody says, hey, how are automobile sales? I understand this time of the year it's a little bit slow. Yeah, it is really quite slow, but we only have 4 of these models left, highly desirable. Last year, we had a list the length of my arm in terms of a waiting list. I've got 3 available. If you know anybody who wants one, we've got a fantastic deal, and those offers will change. By the way, right now is a wonderful time because the new residual rates are out for leasing, and they should capitalize and get in on it right away. Capitalize on a high residual end value amount, which lowers the monthly payment up front. This is a great time to be looking. Any dialogue like that will work. But let's come back to Facebook. So you know that with Facebook as your organic advertising medium and platform, which it means free, that it is broken out into 3 categories. So in the first category, you have the feed. And so that is going out to everyone. We have no idea who that is. It's almost an infinite number. It's gigantic. And that's basically Facebook. And I should draw arrows to this because this is how it's going to work. Facebook is basically grabbing the information that you have provided to them to fill the template, so to speak, like a newspaper. Think of your post as the newspaper content, and the editor is looking for as much information as they can possibly gather to be the place that people want to go to read their news. And therefore, there is so much material coming in. And this is the reason why you may be frustrated with Facebook, or you've heard someone that's frustrated with Facebook, that I post once a week. I post once a month and nothing has ever come of it. Nothing is going to ever come of that either, right? If you were to do an advertisement once a week in a newspaper, it's lost within 24 hours. When as soon as the individual has read the paper and tossed it away, it's gone. If you post once a month in a magazine, your shelf life is a little bit better. If you were to make one message for radio, it would be lost in nanoseconds, like being on Instagram or TikTok. And of course, if you were to create one mail piece and send it out, the chances of it getting even opened are slim to nil unless you have a really creative envelope and something that piques the interest. And then, of course, once it is open, they realize this is just another offer. This is a junk mail offer. Then its shelf life is probably very limited unless the individual that you're talking to is thinking, talking, research, touch and feel, getting ready to come in and see you. But the point is, without any of this stuff, you can't be top of mind. This is the reason why we struggle, certainly this time of the year, but average ordinary automobile people struggle in general because average ordinary automobile sales trainers, your managers, your dealer, your OE don't teach you how to be top of mind when a customer thinks about buying. The brand certainly is. I'm certain a lot of people are either avoiding or concerned or not even thinking ever about considering Nissan as a brand because of the financial woes that they have been plagued with all through 2024. And now the hero story of Honda picking them up and is going to carry on, and the company doesn't change. The reality is that is too large a corporation to fall and disappear, and those vehicles go away. Remember, Pontiac, Saturn, Saab, Isuzu, Mercury, Plymouth, they didn't go broke. They disappeared because the presidential company that they worked for, General Motors, Chrysler, Ford, decided that those brands were no longer viable entities. They were not desirable in the marketplace anymore. And therefore, they will just stop producing, stop marketing, and take those monikers off the nameplate as people are driving by. They didn't go broke. They literally just got closed. The corporation continues on with the other brands and offerings that they have, which were overlap and duplicates anyhow. Now, the point of Facebook and the reason why you want to consider a very aggressive Facebook advertising organic plan this time of the year is that I know you've got a lot of time in your hands. You're sitting on your hands, you're twiddling your thumbs, you're wandering around talking to each other. Maybe you're sweeping the cars off of all the snow if you live in the northern 48 states or in Canada. And we're going to get more snow today. And we had snow last night. We had snow the day before. And if this is what you have to look forward to coming into work and sweeping off the cars, then I've got news for you. You're waiting. You're going to be in the red January, February, and March at the very least until the second quarter of the year rolls around, because this time of the year, the advertising machine gets turned off by your original equipment manufacturer and your dealership, because they know that as people have now come away from the Christmas season, and maybe they're concerned about how much money that they spent and what the new year is going to hold. And in very short order on the 18th, Visa, MasterCard, and American Express will start printing their credit card statements, and therefore people will get to see either online or in print in traditional mail form. Holy cow, look how much we spent. Don't spend any money on anything. And obviously, the second greatest financial decision next to buying a house gets to be the first thing that gets shelved, right? That's not necessarily the case with everybody. If there was a big snowstorm, people driving around might crash into each other. And if you aren't top of mind as a result of any free advertising that you can capitalize on, then you're really stuck, because again, it's free and you've got time to do this. So in the feed, you're not going to see your posts rise up to such a level and extent that you're going to attract a lot of business. But here's the thing. Your strategy should involve these three tactics. Number one, about your offer. Secondly, you want to mention something in the feed about you. And thirdly, you want to mention something about the industry. So if you are a Nissan salesperson, or a Nissan manager, or a Nissan dealership owner, there is lots for you to repost. And that's all you simply have to do. You'll see your customers, your audience, your friends, in other words, will see all of your reposts as as a subsection. So it'll come out from you, hey, thought, and you may want to add to the post a little bit, just a hooky line. I would suggest going to ChatGPT to do so and just say, I thought you'd like to know this information about Nissan, my career, what I'm doing. Now's a wonderful time to get in. Something about yourself. If you enjoy watching the Super Bowl playoffs, all the NFL playoffs and leading up to the Super Bowl, which will happen next month. You may have your favorite team, or there could be a fantastic upset, or maybe you're wearing your team jersey and a picture of yourself at the dealership selling automobiles. Great idea. It could be if you're a hockey fan, what your favorite team is doing, what the crazy upset was, or your favorite team is not performing to the level of an expectation that you thought that they would. And then, of course, your offer is super easy to figure out. And this is what reels people in. Now, in Facebook, you know that you will have so much more exposure if you have a lot of friends. So more than congratulating your clients on purchasing an automobile, and I know I'm speaking really elementary and fundamentally here on Facebook. Everybody knows how Facebook works, but I'm looking through your profiles, just seeing those of you in the group on LinkedIn as well as Facebook and any of our clients in the manifesto, and going to your profiles and seeing how many friends that you have. The more friends that you have, the greater the exposure that you can have, because this is what happens. When you tag a friend, then you know your post will be shared with their friends and family in that feed. If anybody follows your friends, they don't even have to be a friend. They can follow them as opposed to being their friend. They may not be accepted as a friend, but they can still follow their posts. This is easily accessible and understandable with LinkedIn, because that's what connections are. But when you have a lot of friends and you friend everybody, not everybody's going to accept your friendship request, and don't get upset about that. Those are vanity metrics. Don't worry about the vanity metrics. We're not trying to be social media influencers here. We're trying to be automotive transportation specialists influencing a decision with a particular brand that we represent. And that can include pre-owned. So your brand could be a great deal on an automobile. And it's so easy to structure that brand to leverage those tactics, which will bring people in. And that becomes your strategy, right? You want to have as many tactics as you can rolling up into that strategy that you can do day in, day out. And if that doesn't make any sense, or you don't know what these tactics might be, I'll link a comment below. Click on my calendar, book a day and time that's convenient for you, and let's meet. Do that. Save yourself the grief of trying to figure all this out. I've been through it. I've made the mistakes. I'm spending the thousands of dollars per year on Facebook ads to really understand how I can help you avoid the pitfalls and really capitalize on that. That's what makes investing and makes work so great, right? The minimum amount of effort for the highest level of rewards, right? So with your friends, you want to have as many friends as you can. Second part of that equation, friends expect to see information from you, because this may be the only way that they're getting their news. And not that you want to be a news station or an editorial station or create a newsletter. I'm not suggesting that at all. But you can repost so much about yourself. And if you like following the incoming presidential process and indoctrination, great. If you want to follow what is happening with the non-confidence vote of the Canadian government, that is wonderful and terrific. If your particular party that you're supporting needs that level of support, you probably want to be as objective as possible, walking the thin line between obvious support and not so obvious support, but just reposting factual information that you know is accurate, truthful, and represented accordingly. You don't have to make it up. This is so easy to do. You don't have to go to ChatGPT. You can leverage apps like Buffer, Sendable, Meet Edgar, and Hootsuite in order that you don't have to be doing this on an hourly or twice a day or every single day or just once a week. You can schedule it all ahead of time. And the most important thing is, with a decent network, and remember where this falls in when we talk about selling 10 vehicles per month. That's the goal. We know that we're going to get some from walk-ins, some from phone and internet, some from repeats, some from referrals, some from networking. And that is the opportunity bucket that we're talking about right now. Your network includes social media, includes friends, includes family, includes previous colleagues that you worked with, that you went to school with, all of which is just magnificent for this time of the year when the showroom doors aren't swinging, the phone isn't ringing. I was with some friends last night at a social. We were mountain biking, and afterwards we're having a cold drink to refresh and rehydrate. And one of the guys is a Nissan dealer. And he said, yeah, the showroom doors are just not swinging, Bill. The showroom's dead. Nobody's coming in. Offers are great. My sales team is terrific. The industry is dead. And I had to bite my tongue because it was a social. It's not an opportunity for me to teach and train. And I really hope that he's watching it today. And Dave, what you could really do, which would be so helpful for your sales team, is make sure that their friends' network on their social media is maximized to the most people that they possibly know, because as the tides turn, we can position ourselves really well for Q2 and Q3, even if we can't bring anybody in right now. But the bottom line is to be top of mind for those individuals that would like to buy right now. This is the easiest and cheapest way to do it. So the feed is probably the worst way for you to find people. Your friends, and posting to your friends about the industry, about your offers. And the offers are the trade-ins that come in on the lot, and the vehicles that we purchase at the auction, and the vehicles that we purchase over the curb. I have one Kia dealer, super fantastic guy, and I hope, Tim, you're watching today, does a magnificent job of attracting customers who simply want to buy their vehicle, cash out, and then move on to buying something very inexpensive and drive that for 8, 9, 10, 12 months until they can step back into the vehicle they want. He does an incredible job of bringing those people in, paying off, clear those loans, giving them a check for the vehicle. And then what do they say? This is magnificent. They say, well, how much would that vehicle be, or that vehicle, or that vehicle, or that vehicle? And consequently, they wind up selling them an automobile. Anyhow, that is the point of being friends. You've earned that KLT badge of honor. They know you know your stuff. They like you because you're constantly posting and telling them about industry news, and they trust that you can put this deal together for them and make it easy. You can talk about anything with your friends, such as taking credit applications. What constitutes a good approval rate process for a credit application? Anyhow, I said there were 3 things on Facebook, and so let's get to that as well now. This is Marketplace. And I know this is what you're all most interested and excited to learn about. And of course, this could be the most frustrating one of the entire bunch too, because you could be saying, Bill, I'm doing that all the time. I'm posting on Marketplace all the time. And you probably are. The beauty of Marketplace, did you know this? Number one, it goes out to the Facebook region. So that is the best part. You can join groups, and they could be specific groups, could be trucks, could drill down into just Ram pickup trucks, or Silverado, or Tundra, or Frontier pickup trucks. And then, of course, your friends are going to immediately see this post that you placed on Marketplace. And this is why Marketplace did so wonderfully well in the very beginning when it was conceived, and it started to gain acceptance, and then it started to dominate Car Gurus and Auto Trader and Car Pages, and consequently Kijiji, Craigslist. People were seeing very quickly how many people were on Facebook. Remember, Facebook is the giant, has the most followers, has the most active users worldwide. We're talking billions of people, which is quarter of the population, if I'm not mistaken. The last statistic was. These friends of yours immediately saw what was being posted for sale. That is the reason why they could take action so quickly. And consequently, as we were going through the inventory shortage and Marketplace was gaining greater and greater popularity, this is the reason why we saw so many people come in and purchase automobiles. And this is the reason why so many under $10,000, under $5,000 automobiles sold so well. And this is the reason why you're frustrated, because now, as those $5,000 and $10,000 vehicles have not necessarily evaporated or been exhausted or not popular in the marketplace, but as our economy starts to recover, and this year we saw the most normal year since 2018, those $5,000 and $10,000 vehicles aren't as desirable. And for many reasons, it could be their age and it could be mileage, and only two things kill a car: time and mileage. You can have a very, very young car, a year-old car that has a lot of mileage on it. It's going to require a lot of maintenance, and most buyers know that. It could be on the other side of the equation, a very, very old car with a little tiny bit of mileage, and it doesn't matter that it's sat forever. I remember reading in an Auto Trader publication where a Corvette was found in a barn in Edmonton, Canada, in the province of Alberta, and that Corvette had been stolen, brand spanking new. It had less than 100 kilometers on it, parked in a barn, hidden away for eons. I don't remember what the circumstances were, how they found it, but it sold for the meager sum of $13,000 because the individuals and the people that were bidding on it knew full well it's going to need tires, brakes, belts, hoses, possibly an interior, possibly need to be repainted. The frame may have rusted out, even though the body's fiberglass and it doesn't show any rust there. There's a lot of work to be done. So two things kill a car: time and mileage. Those inexpensive cars that we had so much traction with on Facebook could now not be desirable. So you need to experiment. As I shared with you in the very beginning of Facebook, I have seen $700,000 boats advertised on Marketplace, and I see those boats for one of two reasons. Number one, I have someone in my friendship network on Facebook that works at that marina, or I was tagged, or pardon me, the hashtag Boston Whaler and boats is something that I'm constantly interested in and search those quite frequently on Marketplace. That's a way that it could appear in my feed. Or, and remember, I should be writing that. So we could be tagged as a person. It could be hashtag as an interest. It could be part of a group as another interest that we may have. And all of this is what determines how the most pre-qualified, predetermined buyer finds your automobile that they would really like to own. Keep in mind, it is regional, which is the best part of the whole equation as well. Facebook knows full well that if I live in New York, Buffalo, New York, and I'm advertising a Chevy Malibu or a Ford Escape or a Toyota Corolla or a Honda Civic or a Nissan Frontier, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for anybody in Texas, Arlington, Texas, to see that advertisement. The likelihood of them flying across the country to pick up that vehicle and drive it home is possible. I'm sure you could debate with me on that, but the likelihood of it actually happening isn't going to happen. The reality is, if they are one of my friends and I tag someone that I think would be a good candidate for that Ford Escape, that Dodge Durango, and I'm talking the Hellcat one, or a Raptor Bronco, we were talking about that last night, and they live in Arlington, Texas, and they know me, that means because we're friends, they like me, and they can trust that I can get them a great deal. They may fly across the country to pick that vehicle up and drive it home. They may coordinate it to be shipped to them to be able to own it and drive it for whatever reason, likely because my offer is fantastic. And this is how you create a social media presence for yourself, filling your pipeline on a regular basis with shoppers that are predetermined and pre-qualified to wanting to do business with you. There is no better time in the year than right now for you to really understand how Facebook works. It is so simple. It is so dynamite. It is a magnificent organic, which means free, advertising strategy that, provided you work within the confines of what they're offering, they'll never censor you for it. If you decide to move forward, and we're happy to help you with a paid strategy, of which I have an enormous amount of information and insight onto that. And the clients that we have, Chandler, Rebecca, Jennifer, Joe, Tracy, this is off the top of my head, the high performers, Sean, Lazo, Dominique. These individuals are crushing their goals. They're selling on a consistent basis in the double digits. I'm going away from 10, 20, and 30 vehicles per month just to suggest double digits, because your goal may just simply be, and I learned this last year, a lot of people reaching out to me saying, Bill, all I want to do is sell double digits. I just want to sell 11, 12 every single month with predictable consistency. This is how you do that. And you can figure this out on your own. It will take you eons to do so. Let me do this for you. I've made that mistake. In fact, I had to grow up through the mistake. We had to figure out how Facebook is where Facebook was figuring themselves out. Facebook has changed a number of things that they do right now on the live with Facebook. In the live event, I can't use, oh my gosh, they just changed this. We can't use live, they're like reactions, live emojis, live activities. Oh, I'm missing the word. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Brain fart. That's brutal. Sorry about that. Anyhow, the platforms, and this includes all the platforms, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, if you want to use LinkedIn, consistently and constantly change their operations and rules. Always remember why, for the purpose of the user. Remember, the platforms do not care about us. They only care about their user experience. And if you can improve the user experience on that platform, they'll lift you right up in the feed. You'll become that influencer over here and can earn yourself a lot of business, but that should not be our goal. Our goal is to sell double digits, 10, 15, 20, 15, 20, 25 vehicles per month, 20, 30, and 40 vehicles per month, and get yourself all the way to my good friend Glenn, who sells 100 vehicles per month at a Chevrolet dealership. He says he's struggling this year to do that right now, full disclosure, but he said it's also the first quarter of the year where he's taking a lot of orders, making a lot of bids, where those deals will start to come to fruition in February, and deliveries will be expected in March and April and June, March, April, May, and June rather. And that is how the pros do it. They plan ahead. If you want to sell 120 vehicles this year, and you have no plan right now for you to be able to sell 10 this month, start here. This is the easiest place to start. Don't just data dump your product into your own marketplace feed. And remember, when you put your vehicles in there, you've got to mark them as pending, sold, and then remove them from the marketplace advertisement, because if you don't, you're going to have a lot of people reaching out to you. Hey, do you still have that vehicle? And the second part of the equation is responding in a timely fashion to these individuals. Anytime any of you reach out to me, either through Instagram or Facebook, I'm not active on TikTok. I watch TikTok. I'm trying to figure TikTok out for myself. My opinion, Facebook is the only place that I need to be. That's just my opinion. You may have that as well. If you want to know more about it, you click on the link, book a date and time. When you fill out a form that I have on Instagram, I see that immediately and I call you. And everybody that I call is just absolutely blown away that I called. They can't believe it. I say, hey, it's Bill Harvey with the Auto Dealership Academy. Saw that you were on my page. You filled out the form. I see that you've booked a time. Make sure that you reserve that time, and let's make this happen for you. Get you to 10, 20, or 30 vehicles per month with, here's the thing. Forget about the 10, 20, or 30 vehicles per month. You may be sitting there thinking to yourself, Bill, that's too much. There's no way. Nobody in our dealership has ever done that. Nobody in our manufacturer with our region has ever done that. That's fine. I'm not saying that it's possible for that matter, but here's the thing. If we don't try, we'll never know. And therefore, if your goal is not to sell 30, your goal is to sell 20, let me help you get there as quickly as you possibly can, because my goal isn't to help you sell 20 vehicles. My goal is to help you achieve your maximum potential. And we do that with our system of 3 phases, 9 steps. Simple, straightforward, 3 actions per step. That is it. We deliver this class on a weekly basis. You're not in that class right now. That is tomorrow. That's the secret stuff. You have an opportunity to work with me one-on-one. You can schedule time in my calendar, ring me up, and I'll walk you through exactly what to do, as opposed to I'm just pitching and showing you right now the things that you could be doing. I'll hold yourself accountable. You get the PDFs, the cheat sheets, the downloads, the worksheets, all of which will absolutely, unquestionably assure that you will get on track to earn a six-figure income, selling double digits every single month, and be that 11 or 21 or 31 or 101, like Glenn. You can do this. Let me help you. I'm more than happy to do so. Thanks so much for joining me. My name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy on Facebook, the Auto Dealership Academy on YouTube and LinkedIn. I'll see you again next week where we dive into the buyer behaviors that we're starting to see and experience on a regular basis and how you can close 1 and 2 working towards 1 in less than 1. That means everyone you speak to purchases from you, because this is the secret. The KLT badge of honor. And it's what you're doing and what you are saying that is compromising and jeopardizing that KLT badge of honor. I'll talk to you again real soon. Have a great day and a super weekend. Bye-bye for now. Don't forget to click on the link below and book a call. Let's get you there now. Now's the time to prepare for the spring. Don't wait for the spring to come along.